This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Hello viewers, you're watching Pulse of Africa. I am Tinsai Gabao for the main news. First, our top stories for today. Rwanda and Mozambique renew security cooperation. South Africa launches G20 task force to examine global wealth inequality. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy leads signing of $2.5 billion fertilizer complex shareholder investment agreement. Now, the news in detail. Rwanda and Mozambique have renewed their cooperation in peace and security to facilitate the fight against terrorism in Mozambique on the first day of the visit by the Mozambique President Daniel Chapo to Kigali, the capital of Rwanda. Speaking on Wednesday after witnessing the signing of the cooperation agreement, Rwanda President Paul Kagame said that the violent extremism is a growing threat to African people and development, highlighting the need for Africans to confront the problem as one continent without outsourcing from outside. This is one of the best investments we can make. Outsourcing responsibility to external actors cannot build lasting peace, he said. Chapo emphasized the need to work together in areas of security and thanked Kagame for the Rwandan forces helped in fighting against terrorism in Mozambique's Cabo Delgado province. The Pan-African Postal Union and the East African Business Council have signed a memorandum of understanding aimed at promoting digital trade, cross-border e-commerce, financial inclusion, and efficient logistics across the African continent. The agreement was signed on Wednesday at the PAPU headquarters in Arusha, northern Tanzania, by the PAPU Secretary General Sinfundo Chief Moyo and EABC Acting Executive Director Adrian Rafael Najau. The partnership seeks to leverage opportunities within the African Continental Free Trade Area, which encompasses a market of 1.4 billion people and a combined gross domestic product exceeding $3.4 trillion, according to the statement issued on Thursday by the EABC. This partnership marks a new chapter in leveraging postal networks and private sector collaboration to unlock the potential of Africa's digital economy, said Moyo. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa on Thursday launched a G20 expert task force to examine global wealth inequality and its impact on growth, poverty, and multilateralism, the first initiative of its kind of the G20. The six-member task force, chaired by Nobel Economics Prize laureate Joseph Stiglitz, is expected to present its findings to G20 leaders due to convene in Johannesburg in November. South Africa has sought to use its Group of 20 presidency this year to highlight issues affecting poorer nations, including rising inequality and sovereign debt burdens. South Africa's G20 presidency today is proud to launch an initiative that will target this issue of global wealth inequality, a first for the G20, and offer a practical way forward, Ramaphosa said in a statement. The 25th Eastern and Southern African and Anti-Money Laundering Ministerial Conference kicked off in Addis Ababa today. Ministers from 21 countries, among them the Vice President and Minister of Finance of Botswana, gathered with stakeholders from leading international and continental institutions for the East and Southern Africa Anti-Money Laundering Conference. The conference was officially commenced at the ECA Conference Hall with the presence of Deputy Prime Minister Temesgen Turuna, along with other senior government officials. In other news, South Korea has passed a bill banning the use of mobile phones in school classrooms nationwide, officials said Thursday, joining other countries in efforts to curb social media and use among minors. One of the world's most wired nations, South Korea, has recently sought to tighten rules on electronic devices in schools, citing concerns over smartphone addiction among students. The bill, which will take effect in March next year, bans smart devices including mobile phones in classrooms and was passed on Wednesday, a National Assembly spokeswoman told AFP. The move makes South Korea the latest country to restrict social media use among school children, following similar steps in countries including Australia and the Netherlands. UN Security General Antonio Guterres on Thursday asked the Security Council to authorize an international force for Haiti. I urge the Council to act without delay and authorize an international force supported by United Nations through logistical and operational backing and predictable financing, he told the Security Council meeting on Haiti. Security measures must go hand in hand with increased pressure on those fueling the violence in Haiti. This includes an effective arms embargo, as well as targeted expansion of sanctions against gang leaders, financiers, armed traffickers, and others connected to them, said Guterres.
The story of resurgent Ethiopia and burgeoning Africa is here, only on the Pulse of Africa channel. All the time, Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.
Now to business news. In the presence of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, Ethiopian Investment Holdings and Dangote Industries Limited have signed a $2.5 billion fertilizer complex shareholder investment agreement. Congratulations to all Ethiopians on another milestone in our journey toward food security and agricultural transformation. We have signed the fertilizer complex shareholder investment agreement between Ethiopian Investment Holdings and Dangote Industries Limited, the Prime Minister shared on social media channels. According to the Premier, with an investment of $2.5 billion, this mega project will produce up to 3 million metric tons of fertilizer annually, placing Ethiopia among the largest producers globally. He further elaborated that this project will create jobs locally, ensure a reliable fertilizer supply for our farmers who have long faced challenges, and mark a decisive step in our path to food sovereignty. Finally, the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank will provide Morocco with a $200 million loan to strengthen the country's climate change resilience, the Chinese embassy in Morocco announced on Tuesday. The financing will target priority projects focused on reinforcing environmental and water infrastructure and improving the resilience of economic sectors most exposed to climate risks. The loan is part of a co-financing program with the World Bank, which has already committed $350 million through its results-based financing mechanism. Morocco faces serious climate vulnerability, according to the World Bank report published in September 2024. Before concluding, let us provide you with the latest updates on global commodities prices. Now to weather updates. That's all for today, and thanks for watching Pulse of Africa.
This is Pulse of Africa, the face of Ethiopia, the voice of Africa.